Are you ready to finally have a business where it can run without you? If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lai. I run a virtual assistant agency here in the Philippines named 2XU, and I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, as the title implies, one of the dreams when you've been an entrepreneur for a while, you might have had your business for a year or two or maybe three, is having more time for yourself while having your business just run without you. Now, I do want to put in a little bit of a disclaimer. This is not going to be a walkthrough of like how you can completely leave your business, but this is how to be able to focus on the right things in your business so you can actually focus on growing your business instead of just running it. That's basically the whole goal for this video. When you're an entrepreneur, you basically live and breathe your business. Whether you want to or not, you started this essentially. And I wanted to create this video to kind of a little bit be as your guide on how to not just have it run you, but have your business run without you. So the first thing that you need to have is having a clear vision. Now, this is kind of an essential key with everything else, is having a vision of where you want your business to be. You can have the best team, you can have the best equipment or best everything else, best strategy. But if you don't know where you're going, it's going to be hard for you and for everyone else to follow that vision. So for example, for us at 2XU, one of my bigger visions is to start attaching like mini companies into 2XU. Aside from executive assistants and hiring, it's going to also have like a content marketing business. It's going to have a bookkeeping business attached to it. So it's kind of me creating this Lego of businesses basically where I have different things attached to it. So we're adding add-on services for our client. That's my vision. And eventually the actual goal is to help million Filipinos work from home and 10,000 entrepreneurs to have their business be remote. So what that looks like for me is as I'm explaining that to people who start working in 2XU or as they grow in 2XU, there's a direction. So even if I'm not there, they know where we're going. Even though I've started to even replace myself in a lot of the roles that I did start with in 2XU, they're able to continue the journey because I've been able to give them the vision of where I want the business to go. So you creating a clear vision doesn't have to be this highfalutin thing of like reaching 5 million people or helping end world hunger, although it definitely can. But the point of this is that you can draw out a map of where you want to go. So then for your people or for the people you come across with in your life as a businessman or entrepreneur, is that you can eloquently describe to them what it is that you're trying to create in the business. Next is you want to look at your to-dos. Now that you have the vision of where you want to go, look at where you're at. You don't have to go and look where you are, what you've done already in the past. Just look at currently, what does your to-do list look like? The reason why you want to do this is you want to have a lay of the land of what your current focus is, because you might not know, and what are the things that are upcoming as well. This gives you a good map to be able to start creating for whether or not you have a current team or you're about to build a team. It's good to just have that self-awareness of where things are at. Because the next thing you want to do is knowing your 20%. Now, this is based off of the Pareto principle of out of the 10 things you're doing in a day, 2 of them are actually growing your business, the rest you're doing to run it. So as a really good example I like using is like a YouTube video, right? Like my 20% is me talking, and that's basically it. That's my 20% out of the bajillion things of like creating the script, getting the video edited, the thumbnail, putting it up on YouTube, promoting it, so on and so forth. I don't really have to do. I have to just show up to these videos, record this, and an amazing video editor goes ahead and edits it. My amazing assistant goes in and promotes it, and everything else falls into place. That's why it's so easy for me to create 2 videos a week, because someone else is taking care of the rest. So can you imagine that, looking at your to-do list, what are the things that only you can really do? And what are the things that can be easily delegated to someone else? So you want to look at what your 20% is. What are the actual things in the business that needs you in there? And honestly, surprisingly, you'll start realizing that you're not really needed in a lot of things. Like even the YouTube videos, I can easily just have someone edit something together or create blog posts as me, just because I have enough content out there. And it doesn't even have to be me showing up every single time. Now with also AI being a little bit scary, I can also replace myself in that way. But for now, just looking at your to-do list, what is your 20%? So then you can start looking at the things you can either delegate or systematize. Which brings us to the next thing of build systems. Now, what I mean by this is right now, depending on where you're at in your business, you've probably just been doing things either on your own, in your head, figure out processes as you go, it's important that you actually start streamlining what these are and getting things out of your head. This is a very common thing that I have whenever I'm on calls with people who could be clients inside of 2XU. They have everything in their head, how they post things on social media, how they respond to customers, how they actually deliver the product or the service. It's all in their head. So building systems could be just as easy as you going through and creating a screen record video of yourself talking through, okay, this is how I clean up my own email. This is how I book clients into a sales call. So just having those little walkthroughs will help free you up in that way. So then you're not the only one who knows how to do a certain process in your business. It can be easily delegated to someone else. And speaking of, which brings us to the next thing of hiring your second brain. Now, what I mean by this is essentially hiring yourself an assistant who can help you get organized. So inside of 2XU, a lot of what we do with this is we hire someone who's specific to the main of the, you did the 80-20 assessment, you know what your 20% is. Let's say the top 3 things, the top 3 outcomes you need is you need someone to help you with content, you need someone to help you with some of the admin work and some of the client work. Then it's looking like, hey, you have a bajillion other things on your list. There's the bookkeeping part, there's the programming website. You want to figure out, like, out of your 80%, what's the 20% of that 80% that you actually need someone else to get done? And then you can start hiring for your own executive assistant. And of course, if you think that you're ready for an assistant in the first place, you can go ahead to 2xu.com/scorecard to take our little test where you can figure out if you are at that stage in your business already. But essentially what you want to do here is hire someone who can be, again, that second brain of someone who starts organizing all the things you're recording, organizing the assets you've created, organizing your email, your calendar, your life, basically. So that frees you up to the next step, which is hiring your team. Now, honestly, this part I was not really good at a few years ago. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would have no idea what this looked like because I didn't really know what a team looked like. Now I have a team of 10 other people within 2XU who help me run things. But what hire team means is now that hopefully you have an assistant, you kind of start seeing the other roles and responsibilities, your org chart within your business of what are the other hires you need to do if you don't have one already. But your team is essentially your management team. It's not you directly managing, if you have a graphic artist service, not you managing the graphic artist, but managing the people who are managing them. So you're managing the people who are managing the outcomes, basically. You're managing the people who help other people get things done in the business, so it doesn't have to be you. You're hiring a team to kind of start freeing yourself up from a lot of the other roles, the other hats that you've been putting on as an entrepreneur, your social media manager, your bookkeeper, your accountant if you don't already have one. It's hiring people like your managers for your team or someone to manage your clients or customers as well. So it's slowly going through that list, your to-do list. That's why it's important to look at it. Slowly going through it and identifying what are the roles and positions that you need to hire for in your business so you actually get started going down that rabbit hole. Because the next step is to start going ahead and delegate and training. Now, just because you can do and manage your social media for about 5 hours in a day doesn't mean that a social media manager won't have enough 40 hours of work a week for managing your social media. You might just be doing the bare minimum. So this is what I mean by delegating and training is show them your process and let them do the rest. Let them focus on the outcome rather than focusing on just the task. Have them focus on like, hey, your job as a social media manager is to grow our TikTok following. Your job as the manager for our graphic artists, I'm using that as an example, is to make sure that they actually turn in their work early. You're setting basically what are the outcomes. Instead of focusing on the tasks, you're focusing on the outcomes that your team can deliver and training them on how to deliver it and getting the heck out of the way. It's kind of the main thing that's important is you're going ahead and learning the other step of this whole process, which is mastering management. Of you're not the person doing the job in the business, you're managing the people getting things done. So this comes with learning how to give feedback. It's learning how to give goals. It's learning how to make sure they have the right tools. So again, you're not concerned anymore of just running the business. You're concerned about growing it, of doing the vital tasks in your business instead of just being trapped in doing the functional work. And eventually, your goal, honestly, is to fire yourself. I've been doing this, honestly, in the last 2 years in 2XU. 2XU at that point was just 2 years old. I was burnt out, not really figuring out what to do with myself. And I started then firing myself from different positions inside of 2XU. We now have virtual assistant managers who are fantastic and better at it than when I was managing all of our assistants. I now have a client success manager who kicks butt when it comes to just getting things done and taking care of our clients in the best way. We have amazing social media managers. We have a full HR person who takes care of our people in the best way that they can. And of course, I have my lovely assistant who takes care of me so I can take care of everyone else. That is essentially your goal, is to start looking at the different roles that you have done, that the hats that you've put on as an entrepreneur, and start giving them to someone else so you can start firing yourself from all of these different positions. So again, you can just focus on the things that you want to do. Getting yourself out of your business so it doesn't run you doesn't have to be difficult. And it's not going to be a quick process either. Like I said, I've been doing this for the last 1.5 or 2 years in 2XU, replacing myself. And it's still an ongoing thing. I'm still finding roles that are like, oh yeah, that should exist inside of the company. Because there's so many things that we kind of compensate for when you're starting out our business that shows up as you are trying to grow and scale your business. The first time that we got like 10 clients in 2 months, I panicked because I wasn't sure where it was going because I was wearing, again, too many hats. This is why it's important, basically, that you get to the point where now getting 10 clients a month, I can breathe easily because I know that the recruitment team is set. We have someone who can onboard, we have someone who can train them, we have someone who can take care of our clients. It's just going to be part of then just running the business instead of stressing out on if we're going to survive the next month. That is essentially then the magic of just making sure that you are starting to have a business that runs without you. Now, if you guys like this video, of course, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what are the ways that you're freeing yourself up, or what do you think would be the first few roles that you would like to fire yourself from. I would love to know. And if you still haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those 2 playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and remember that small steps matters. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!